Can we all agree to stop overhyping Kickstarter games? Seriously, none of you ever like them. They never meet your expectations. I mean, look at Mighty Number 9. Oh, it's made by Keiji Inafune, the guy that created Mega Man, although he never actually did, and has to correct people and tell them he never made Mega Man. He was just a character designer, made some of the enemies and Robot Masters. Look, just because someone you know is making a game, that doesn't mean that they're gonna succeed. It could mean they can fail. It's a 50-50 coin toss at best. Today's game is Yooka Laylee, a very hyped Kickstarter game about being a collect-a-thon platform game. It's supposed to be a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie. And the question here is, did it succeed? Well, I think so, and you want to know why? Because after 6 hours, I got bored and shut it off.
Yooka Laylee was developed by Playtonic, a group of indie developers comprised mostly of former Rare developers. They wanted to make a spiritual successor to Banjo-Kazooie, because, like hell, Microsoft was going to do anything with that series, reviving the collect-a-thon platformer and modernizing it. The game looks great. It's bright, colorful, and cartoony graphics are wonderfully done. The characters are all unique looking. The animation is rather limited, though, only using a few select cycles, which is sad because the game looks like it would do much better if they animated the characters more, because you know that the style is crying to be set loose and be more cartoony like Ratchet and Clank, or the modern Sonic games. I get that they're going for that Banjo-Kazooie style of character interaction, but it's boring to look at nowadays. There's not much in the way of enemies. The common enemies are pretty much all the same or variations of the same looking troll, or these flying bee looking things. The music is I really didn't pay much attention to it, and that's if it played at all. There were times where the game wouldn't load any music and I would have to leave an area and come back so that it would load properly. I would speed through the dialogue because of the constant jabbering of the characters, which is always like if you can listen to that at length, I don't know how you could do that. But you can shut it off in the options, but tapping the A button works just as well. Yooka Laylee is a collect-a-thon platform game. Your goal is to collect pages, golden pages of a book that Yooka Laylee owned, and it got sucked up by Capital B in his quest to find the one book, to make profit off of literature. Yooka and Laylee control pretty well. They feel pretty natural when it comes to how they move about the environments. You'll jump, double jump, high jump, swim, and glide around and get various power-ups that come in the form of fruits, like shooting ice, fire, or water, or licking other objects to gain their properties like honey to stick to slopes, or cannonballs so you don't get blown off of things. The one thing about gaining power-ups is they seem to be random in how long they last. I've had the ice power-up last forever or not at all, regardless of how much I've used it. It also seems to matter on the area where I was at, being shorter in some places, longer in others. Again, it seems to be random on how long the power-ups last. I could be, and probably am, wrong. Another aspect, like Banjo-Kazooie, are transformations. If you find a molecule, you can find some octopus lady scientist to get a unique transformation for that level to help you progress and get more pages. The collectibles are pages that help you progress, opening books, which there are 5 of them, and also expanding their size. Quills are golden feathers that allow you to purchase abilities from Trouser in the levels. Molecules will let you use transformations, coins will let you play minigames in Rexro's arcade, and then there's Ghost Riders. There's 5 in every level, and you usually have to do something to get them. They don't do anything that I'm aware of. There's 5 worlds that you have to go through, and a hub world that you can explore. You'll always meet Trouser before entering a new book, and he'll give you a free ability, which is one that you'll need to complete that book. The game is not without its fair share of flaws. The camera can be a pain at times, which was a common criticism. However, I rarely had an issue with it. I did have an issue with the grapple hook ability, as it only worked when it wanted to. Some puzzles were just a pain as it required perfect timing, like shooting ice at switches to get spinning platforms that are far in the distance to stop, and you always have to do something for a pagey. You can't just find them laying about. Something that made Super Mario Odyssey superior in that aspect, as finding one out in the open or just finding one by surprise gives you that little dopamine boost to keep you going. But the biggest crime Yooka Laylee commits is that it's boring. It's a chore simulator. Go do this for this character so you can hear some funny dialogue, and then go do that task for that person and hear their dialogue, and the process repeats itself. What made Super Mario Odyssey the superior collect-a-thon platformer is that it was focused and has interesting set pieces. When you enter a level in Mario, you're given an objective and everything in the level is kind of broken up into different challenges, but they all fit together like puzzle pieces. Yooka Laylee just dumps you in a sandbox and says, go play. The writing of the game is very self-aware. I don't mind breaking the fourth wall, in fact it's one of my favorite tropes. But the game sucks at it because there's no proverbial wink or nod to the player, and it does it way too much. The characters are all extremely annoying, and the dialogue goes on for far too long because they're too busy insulting each other or being stupid. I'm 32, I don't have time for this nonsense, and I don't think children would find the dialogue entertaining either. While the levels are all nice and big, they're so empty feeling. The paltry amount of enemies or the occasional boss aren't fun to go against, nor are they challenging. While the game is competently made, they kept some of the worst aspects of Banjo-Kazooie, which you may not have noticed or found tolerable. But those small flaws are amplified here.
After 6 hours, the game crashed on me, which I took as a sign to stop. It's not a bad game, and it's nowhere near as bad as the way people are making it sound. But it is nowhere near worth its $40 price tag, and to truly enjoy this game, to really, truly enjoy what Yooka Laylee has to offer, you gotta be a die-hard Banjo-Kazooie fan, of which, that's not me.